This is Lee with 83 Game of 12, and we're on Sons of Liberty 75 here on YouTube. This will be video 8, and it's following the last video in which on April's Harvest Hornet Nest scenario, we just completed the 2 o'clock turn. And not a lot happened. There was some artillery fire from the Union, but other than that, but I did like the way that the slight rule change that I made, that if a unit stacked with a leader is able to move at least half of its movement if the leader fails its leadership rating die roll. So at least I was able to move the units. They're restricted still. So maybe another restriction would be when they move with only half of their movement, they're not allowed to do close combat. That might need to also be included if the leader doesn't pass. So they can still move up to be able to fire and so forth, just not make that decision to charge the enemy. Maybe I'm going to think about that, but definitely the rule of a leader must stack with a unit, and then the leader must pass a leadership rating die roll, in order for the unit to do anything. For the unit to be able to move. He can still fire. Of course, they can't do close combat because they can't move. But that is too much of a restriction when you have that much placed on the Confederate. And it all comes down to the low leadership ratings that the counters have, that each leader has. And I've discussed that, so I'm not going to jump all into that. But we are doing a comparison between 2 Shiloh games. April's Harvest by the Gamers. Get that glare off there. 1995. The series is designed by Dean N. Essig. I guess he was the head man over there at the Gamers. The actual game, which was volume 9 of the series, Civil War Brigade Series, was designed by Al Wambold. And then with the Shiloh, the first day, Crisis in the West by Revolution Games, it came out in 2024, which is this year, and it's based on, or it uses, I shouldn't say based, I did that last video, I think. It uses the blind sword system, which I really like. And Steve Carey researched and designed this volume, which is number 11 in their American Civil War series. So now we're over here on the blind swords of the Shiloh first day scenario. Okay, this is both Hornet's Nest. We're just, like I said, doing a comparison, and I'm going to discuss which one that maybe I thought was more historical, or provides more for the player. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right off, I like both of these. Okay, so when I put one over the other, it doesn't mean I don't like the other. Okay, and I think if you've been listening to any of these videos, then I think you have a pretty clear idea of which one I'm going to promote or state that I feel is the better Shiloh game. So, all right. So we're starting the 2 o'clock turn. This is where we have to start checking for Johnson's casualty. Okay. And let me look here in the scenario. Let's see. What's really neat is they give you these scenario reminder cards. Okay. So you've got all of the different scenarios. Here it goes all the way up to scenario 7. So basically, I guess you get there. I think there's 7 maps. So you get like a map for each scenario. Okay, but here it says Johnson was killed in action around 2:30. Remember rule 7.3 and start making a casualty check for him starting at 2 p.m. And it says apprentice, which apprentice became a casualty. So he is not replaced. So the Union's kind of in a state of confusion. Okay, and I don't know why are the maybe without an overall leader? Why is there not maybe a reduction in the leadership values of these commanders? Where they there's a -1 or something. Okay, so now we look over at the scenario booklet for the 7.3, and so in this volume you get three rule books. One is the basic rules, okay, and then you have the scenario booklet, and it's because I guess there's so many scenarios, all right, and then you have the exclusive rules. Usually these two are together, but in this volume they're separate. So 7.3, I don't think that's going to be over here. Let's see, maybe. Oh, yeah, let's see. So maybe the casualty check for Johnson is on this chart. Let's see if I can find it. No? Okay, let's see here. Alright, so if we look here, 7.3. Okay, it says down here at 4. Okay, it just says Johnson was killed in action. Okay, remember rule 7.3 and start making a casualty check for him starting at 2 p.m. But it doesn't tell us how to make that casualty roll. Unless it's just making it. It doesn't give a reference to another. Let's see in the exclusive rules. Probably in here. Let's see if it's under a 7.3. Oh yeah, here it is. And it is under 7.3. Okay. But it didn't tell you which book to look under. Okay, so starting 2 p.m., when seating the cup to begin the turn, make a casualty roll. On a 1 to 3, Johnson is eliminated. 4 to 6, there's no effect. Roll again next turn. So. Okay, I rolled a 2. He's eliminated. And so Johnson, I got to take him out of the cup now. And let's see. It says replace him with the Beauregard chit. So I don't think I left the Beauregard chit out. See, Beauregard is going to have a 2. Okay. Johnson has a 4. So that's a big change there. So let's see if I got Beauregard. I may have to open up back into the plastic container to get that out. Yeah, it doesn't look like a. I just Fog of War. Okay, move this stuff up. I gotta find a different place for my draw cup. Okay, so here we got Beauregard. And I don't know, maybe there should be a pause instead of, you know, I think Beauregard was possibly at another place in the battle. I think he was on the Confederate left and Johnson was on the right, which is where the hornet's nest is taking place. But it doesn't say that, it just says place Beauregard in the draw cup on the following turn. Yes, that's what I thought. So he's not going in the cup. Okay. I was wondering about that. That to me would make sense. Yeah, he's got a. You don't have him. And he's not eligible to become a casualty since he was generally commanding from the rear. Alright, so now we're ready to finally get going. Now, one of the things I'm kind of up in for I guess debate is this Confederate initiative. I think maybe that should have only applied to the first turn. It says, okay, Confederate initiative, this is part of the rules here. Okay, number 5. It says before seating the cup to begin play, okay, the Confederate player may secretly hold back one of his leader chips. But it doesn't, the way it's worded is that every turn? Or is that just the first turn? You know? I don't know. It says before seeding the cup. Well, you seed the cup every turn. Before seeding the cup to begin play. So begin play, is that talking about before you even start, or is it talking about before you begin play of the next turn? I've been given the Confederates, you know, the initiative. Each turn. Okay, the other thing is it has to be an attack order. And I haven't always used it as an attack order, but it should be an attack order. And so okay, now the maneuver order is not allowed except for reinforcements, and we do have reinforcements. Okay, Sweeney has a reinforcement here, and then Statham has one here. Okay, now the other thing that I need to talk about was these wreck brigades. Okay, and this is something that I really think might need to be implemented maybe in all of the uh, volumes. Okay, so as you see, okay, originally we just had Miller here wrecked, but now the Confederates have Stevens, Gibson, and Shaver, which basically means they're out of the battle. They've taken too many losses, and their brigades are just whipped. And so this is going to really restrict the Confederates. And these units are wrecked due to my poor tactical skills. All right, so let's take a look at what causes a wrecked brigade. Okay, so we're gonna have to use this. Let's see if I can get back here a little bit further. Okay. All right, so we take a look at this wrecked. Okay, I went over this before, but I'm gonna go over it again because now we have wrecked brigades, and might have had a couple of, maybe two of these should have been wrecked maybe last turn or the turn before, but anyways. All right, so this is part of the intern procedures, and I took care of it, but I didn't show it on video. Okay, a brigade is wrecked if both conditions below apply. Okay, so at least one non-fragile unit is in the eliminated box or on the broken track. Now the key to remember here is if you use the rule where a unit that's on a broken track, when they're rebuilt, okay, and they come back into the game, or, you know, I guess they're not really, well, I guess you can say they're rebuilt, but they can't ever regain their full strength. Okay, that's the optional rule in the rule book that I adhere to. I believe that, you know, these units can't get back to full strength, you know, so all right, so if we take a look over here at the broke box, okay, Statham has got 2 units there. Okay, so the rule is at least one non-fragile unit is in the eliminated box or the broken track. Okay, the only thing in the eliminated box, 2 leaders and 2 artillery pieces, or artillery units, batteries. So, but on the broke track, of course, we have Williams, we have Bowen, okay, and Statham, and then we have Gibson, Stevens, Shaver, Jackson, and actually 3 Bowen units. Okay, so that is one of the qualifications for a unit to become wrecked. They have to have that. Then the wow, why did that thing fall so fast? I guess it was top heavy. I gotta turn this. Well, I guess I can turn this there. All right, so the other thing that has to apply, okay, all right, it has all its infantry units either eliminated, on the broke track, or depleted, or any combination thereof. If a brigade has at least one fresh unit, fresh means it's not depleted, on the map, it cannot be wrecked. If so, the entire brigade is wrecked. This includes future reinforcements from that brigade. So, Stevens actually had a reinforcement coming in, but because Stevens is wrecked, that unit's not coming in because they can't be activated. Okay, wrecked brigade cannot be activated. We'll talk about that too, and after I explain or show you the wreck, why they're wrecked. Okay, so let's take a look at Gibson. So Gibson has one on the broke track, none on the eliminated. So he qualifies for the first requirement. Then we look at the second requirement of the infantry. Okay. Now, if we take a look at his units, if you notice, they're all wrecked. I mean, not wrecked, but they're depleted. All of them. So that means that brigade is wrecked. And so that's why I placed a wreck marker. And if you look at Shaver, here, here, and here, all wrecked. And guess what? There we go. Right there. So they're wrecked. Okay. And then Stevens. Okay. Might as well look here. There's Stevens right here. And then the other requirement right here. They're both wrecked. Okay. So if the reinforcement had come in last turn, they wouldn't be wrecked. But it didn't. So they're wrecked. So what does that mean? Well, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look and see what does it mean to be wrecked. All right. So you remove the brigade's activation marker from play. Place a wreck marker on the brigade space. Brigade units on the broken track to the eliminated box. Units in the eliminated box remain there. So that means Shaver's unit, Gibson's unit, regiment, and Stevens all go to the eliminated box. Okay, so I did that. Okay, so a wreck brigade is not eligible to be activated by any leader, including the CIC. Instead, during the in-turn procedure phase, a wreck brigade may perform one of the following: withdraw, rally, which all they can do is remove morale hits and low ammo markers, do nothing if no unit of that brigade is engaged with the enemy. If any unit is engaged, the brigade must do a withdrawal. So, I've got some that are going to have to do a withdrawal. I guess possibly at the end of this turn. Okay, this end phase activity is not considered an order. All units in the wreck brigade must perform the same action. Okay. You just conduct this like an artillery phase before any final held chits come. Let's see. Conduct this like an artillery phase before any final held chits come into play, with players alternating wreck brigades. Let's see here. It says during the in-turn procedures phase. Before should be after. Okay, we'll take a look at this sequence 14.0. Okay, it says when performing a withdrawal, each individual unit retreats 1, 2, or 0, 1, or 2 hexes, any direction, but still may not engage nor remain engaged. If unable to do so, the unit comes to the eliminated box. Opportunity fire may be triggered by this retreat, including from the first hex of the retreat. So, let's see what else it says. Units in the wreck brigade may steal defensive fire, defensive support fire, opportunity fire, and defend in close combat normally. They still can provide support under the normal rules. They skedaddle retreat per the standard rules too. Event chits may be played on the wrecked unit. Okay, a wreck unit that panics or that is forced to make a break test is automatically eliminated. And it says a brigade cannot recover from wreck status. It says exception, FOW special event table roll, fog of war. Okay, let's look at this 14.0. Okay, here it is. Okay. A new step is added to the phase, checking for wreck brigades, but only if that rule is in effect. Any wreck brigade may now do a withdrawal or a rally or do nothing. Okay, so let's take a look at what this is talking about here. It says 14.1. That's got to be in the regular rules here. Let's see. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so this wreck brigade status, and I should have been, well, let's see. Miller, for example, okay, can't stay here beside Shaver. He would have to move 2 hexes, so like that. And this unit is also with Miller, but they can withdraw. They have to both withdraw, but this unit can withdraw either 0, 1, or 2 hexes. So here it decides just to do 0. Okay, so I wasn't doing this. So he can't stay engaged. And so when he retreats, he's going to be fired on. So I've got to roll with this unit here. Okay. And I didn't do that last turn. So let's go ahead and do that. So he's firing with a strength of 6 into dense woods. So that's going to be a strength of 4. Okay, we rolled a 45, and he's going to have a CR of 0. So it's going to be, what is it, tough. So he takes a morale hit and retreats 2, and then there's a panic, possibly. Okay, so he goes there, takes a shaken marker. Now this, let's see, this unit here, how many panics do we have? I think just 1. Yeah, 1 panic, and so it's going to be this Tuttle unit here. He's got the lower CR, and he's going to retreat. 1, 2. He'll retreat back to there. See, so and this is done at the very end. So if there's any, chits left after you've drawn all the leaders, there's any chits left, then before you use those, you would do this rect procedure. Okay, and that's my error for not doing that. I wasn't checking for the wreck brigades like I should have been. I guess I was thinking, well, there's going to be a while before they can be wrecked. No, they could be wrecked pretty early on. They get a unit to the broke track, and then you do an assault or attack, and you end up getting, just like Gibson, you get all your units basically decimated, and they're all on the battle-worn side. You're wrecked. That's what happened to Gibson. So let's get started. And I'm going to go ahead and give the Confederates the initiative each turn. Maybe that was just for the first turn, but I don't know. It's not clear. In my opinion, it's not clear. Now I could argue both ways. So, all right, let's go with the artillery first. So, and you check. You're not going to have wrecked units become wrecked during the turn. The wreck status is going to happen at the end of a turn. So if you have a brigade that's in danger of being wrecked, you would want to then use an order to try to rebuild it. So all right, here we go. So we're going to start with Willard here. Okay, and he's going to fire on Jackson. And he is in Orchard, so he's got his full strength. Jackson's in Woods. So we're at 6, but it's also canister range. So that's going to increase his strength by half, so he's going to be up to 9. But 2 for the Woods. So we go down to 5. Okay, 61. Jackson has a CR of 1. 61. It's going to be tough. 15. Okay, morale hit. Retreat 2. This will become shaken. And there'd be panic, but you go back to there. And then we place our fired marker there. The Confederates, they have all this artillery that hasn't been able to really get into the fight. So all right, so this artillery unit okay, in order to use the road, he can't overstack, but this would only be let's see, strength of 6 would equal 4.5, so he's not going to be overstacked. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, and put him underneath there, and I don't have to put a marker on him. All right, so he's done. Okay. Next we have Man here. Okay, and he's going to fire at Stevens. So Stevens is his target. So he's in the woods, so the most he can fire from there is 3. That's going to be canister, so it's going to be 1.5. So basically it's 4.5. So he doesn't get to 0.5, so it's 4. Now he's in the open, so there's no modification. 65. And he's going to have a CR of 2. Okay, it's going to be tough. 64 is depleted. Now, because he's wrecked, if he gets a depletion marker, or he automatically is eliminated. Okay, he's already depleted. That would cause a break test. So that eliminates him. Okay, so let's put a Okay, so now we take a look at the Confederates. I'll go ahead and move this other unit down here. I'd like to put him right in here in this open space. Or it really needs to be, there's not a lot of places for them to. I'm just going to move this one under here, under Jackson, where he'll be able to fire here next time. Okay, so now we go back to the Union. Okay, and we're going up here. To the Union right. So we've got Richardson. Yeah, why not firing on? Oops. He's going to fire on. Well, let's see, what do we got here? Okay, that's part of Woods. Let's fire on Woods. What do I do with my. There it is. So what happened to my red marker? They're going to fire here. So he's in the woods. So his strength is going to be 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's not canister. So he's going to be firing at a strength of 1. Okay, 53. And the infantry unit has a CR of 2, becomes 1 because he can't be supported in the woods. So 53. Okay, that's going to be routine. 21 is nothing. All right. So their fire was ineffective. Okay. And then Harper is going to fire back at that artillery. Okay. And strength of 3, 2, 3, range of 3, and artillery's in the woods, so that he's going to be down to a 1. 26 is not going to do anything. Okay. Stone. He can actually move into here. Oops. You're here, you're blocked. See if I was to move these guys out of the way. Okay. You're here, you can't fire through there. So you can't fire at those guys. This is basically a pretty good spot, but you're in the woods, so you can't stack artillery. Stone's gonna move here, because at least he'll give some support if the Confederates attack. He'll give some support to Sweeney. Oh no, he can't go in there. That's overstacking. Let's Walker here, Welker. I'm going to move him and put him on. Try to get him over here to this one of these victory point hexes. So let's see. I think it's half for artillery. Okay, yeah, half. Yeah. So half. So half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, and then 5, 6. Then you can move right there. So, okay. So he's moved. Okay. Okay. I've got some artillery up here. 2 here. But I can't be in that hex. Kind of limited in what I can do here. I'm going to move this one. Let's see, 1 half, 1, 2, 3. Now he can move there because under the rules in this volume, you can move into engagement if the line of sight is blocked. Okay. Okay. So we moved him. Okay, so we come back to the Union, and they've got stone here. Oops, not there. Let's see who's here. Lawman. So I'm going to move that artillery unit right there. Over that victory point hex. Okay. Now, down here, he's going to try to rebuild. He's with that unit. So, all right. Now let's take a look at right here. So, Rutledge. Okay, is going to fire on MacArthur here, who's in a orchard. Okay, so his strength is a 3, and he's firing into an orchard, so that's going to reduce it by 1 to the left. We're going to move it to the left, so it's a 2, strength of 2. 44. Okay, and let's see, I don't think he's not supported, MacArthur. Yeah, he is. So he's going to have a 3, which means no effect. Okay. Stone here, if he had somebody stacked in here, he would be able to try to rally up there. Stone, he's in clear. If he had somebody here, he could rally, so I might just leave him there to see about rally. Okay, so that's all of the Union. So now I have to just do something with these guess I'll move this one down this way. 1, 2, let's see, half, 1, 1.5, 2. Two and a half. And I'm not going to put a thing on him. Let's only have 2 units left. Okay, so oops. I should have had him back. This one, he can go right there with Stevens. Okay. So the last thing is trying to rebuild. So Hudson down here can try to rebuild. He's got to have a 2 or less. Got a 4, so no, he didn't. Okay. So now move my microphone up. Okay. So now let me pull off these man, it's hard to get this thing straight. All right. Let me remove these markers here. They just get in the way. I do when you're going on to the next phase, they're just in the way. I do like using them though, because if you're going face to face, of course you want to be able to say, hey, you know, you've used that one because we put a marker on it, you know, and you would put it, the opponent would put it, I would say the opponent would put it on there, making sure that, you know, you got the right one so that they're not used more than once. So I think that's all of them. All right, so I'm activating wood, and it probably only applied, I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm sure, I would bet that the initiative really only applies to the first turn, but it doesn't say the first turn, or it doesn't say in the 1 o'clock or the 12 o'clock. In the 12 o'clock p.m. turn, you know, it just says, you know, when you create the draw cup. Okay, so you do that each turn. So, all right. So the Confederates have lost Johnston. Beauregard is not taken full command yet. So, all right. So Wood. And we've got to use, I wasn't doing this, but you have to use an attack order. Okay. So what I'm going to do with Wood is I want to bring him around over in this area. So and I think I can just come right down through here. So, okay, we've got 2 units here. All right, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, he can go right there. Okay. Now I got to be careful here because if I put this guy in here, well, I can put him in there, but not attack with him. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then 4, 5. There's 1 for the stream there. Okay, and then these 2 guys. What is it? 6. I think they're going to stay here with this artillery unit, and they're just going to stack with it. Okay, so I'll put them underneath, and then they're going to look to possibly regroup. Okay, and then I've got this one here with this artillery, and I don't want to move him. Oh man, what am I doing? I didn't even fire. I could have fired right here into here. Oh well, I missed that opportunity. Now, Tuttle there, that's where I moved those guys. Okay. I don't want to assault. I don't think. This guy's in the open. This guy's got a strength of 8. So he really doesn't have anywhere to go. Schaefer can provide opportunity fire when he tries to go somewhere. Okay, why not? Why not? We'll go ahead and attack. I should have got my offensive fire. Guess I forgot about him being under that artillery piece. Okay, so 7th Iowa, they have to decide who they want to hit. They want to hit here or here. If they hit here, then this guy's going to have a CR of 3, which is going to be the same as him. So he's better off trying to hit these guys, because if he hits here, this guy's still going to get support because there's a unit underneath him. And let's see. Yeah, they're both in the open. So he's going to fire on this one. Plus it's the stronger unit. So, okay, strength of 7. 23. I don't think 23 is going to get it done. No. Alright, so it doesn't really matter who I go with. I guess I'll go with the 8. That gives us a little higher. So we're going to attack here with this one. This other one's just going to give us numerical strength. Okay, so we've got what I say, 8. Yeah, 8 against 8 plus 7's 15 against. Let's see. Yeah, that should be 7. Okay, yeah, he's got a 7. Okay, so 2 to 1. So we'll go from 8 to 9 to 12, 13. We're going to have the higher CR because the 7th Iowa has no support. Plus they're in the woods. That's why they have no support. So we go 14, 16. And then nobody, okay, we don't have smooth bore, nothing else. Flanking attack, no. 26, not a very good roll. Okay. And he's got a CR of 3. So it's going to be routine. Hoping for something better. Okay, 35. Morale hit. Retreat 2. Okay. He's gonna. Okay. So he's gonna be fired on by Shaver. Opportunity fire because he's leaving. He's actually going to have to go across here. So that will give Shaver here opportunity fire as he moves. So he's not actually moved yet. Okay, it's going to be at half. Opportunity fire is at half strength, so he's at 3. And he's in the dense woods, so it's going to drop down to 1. But the 7th Iowa now has a CR of only a 2. Okay, so 36 is that's not going to do anything. Okay, so he moves here. That's 1. Now he's leaving again. Okay, to here. So that's another opportunity for Shaver. Again, it's going to be the same strength. 13, no effect. So he ends up there. Okay, so now Woods can advance 2. So one, 2, and then here that's 1. Okay, he's going to stay. He's going to move here with this guy like that. Okay, so Wood is done, and we shake up the cup. Here it is. Now we're in. We're just now getting our first chit pool. But sometimes you just got to discuss things. All right, so we got a rally for the Confederates, and so who do we want to rally? Let's see here. Let's see what his Chalmers here got. He disrupted. So we want to rally him. Of course, we want this guy on top, but I don't know. I guess he was on top for some reason. All right, so that takes care of that. Next. Sometimes you go through these chits pretty fast. Okay, artillery line of sight. We've had this a few times. It basically allows the artillery to fire through these regular woods hexes, not the dense woods. So up to their effective range, which for smooth bore is 6, rifled cannon 7, mixed cannon 6. So what happened to Sweeney over there? What happened to him over here? Where'd that unit go? Did I pick him up and then what happened to him? What did I do with him? Wow. Oh, how'd he get knocked over there? Okay. All right, so this artillery with the line of sight, it has to be in a woods hex. So okay, so we're going to use man here. Okay, so man, even though he's in woods, he's going to be able to fire his full strength, and he's firing here at Gladden. He can fire through these woods hexes, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's effective. So he's going to have a strength of 4, but I believe that the hex that Gladden's in is still going to give that defensive. Maybe not. Okay, so any shifts for the target hex apply. So, okay, it does. So his strength of 4 is actually just, it's going to drop to a 2. Okay, we got a 46. Gladden has a 4 because he's in the no support. 46. Yeah, it's not going to do anything. Worth a shot, though. All right, so next we've got, the Confederates have line of sight with their artillery. So going to use Rutledge to fire here at MacArthur, who's just in the orchard. And Rutledge is in the woods, okay, but he can fire his full strength. So he's got 6 firing at MacArthur there, who's in an orchard. So that only shifts down 1. So we've got a strength of 5 here. I don't like turning like that to roll my dice. 42. And he's got a CR of 3. So that's going to be routine. 41. Nothing. I get that, but then I don't get any good rolls. Oh, we got Fog of War. Okay, so we have to roll. Got a 2. And let's see, Fog of War, 2, possible leader casualty. So let's roll the 2 dice. 55. Who's going to bite the dust? Oh, Breckenridge. So I've got to get Breckenridge's replacement. Let's see, Breckenridge. Okay. Well, let's see, there's Withers. I think it's over here. What would it be? Oh, all the artillery. Did I put him in the wrong spot? Maybe what did I do with him? There, but this is, no, that's Clark's. It's like, well, guess I do not have a Breckenridge replacement. Didn't look like it. Did I miss places somewhere? Oops. Oh, there it is. Okay. So Breckenridge's replacement is going to reduce him down to a 3. So let's see here. Talk about that. Oh, we've got to dig him out and put him in. So there he is. And put this one in. Alright. Next jet. Rally. So, let's see here. Where do we need to rally? somebody. I guess decisions. I guess I'm gonna take this one. All right. And Withers. Okay, he can activate, roll to 1. So he's got Gladden. Okay. I want to try to regroup one more time with Gladden here. So see, well, he's not supported though. He's by himself there. These two guys are supported. It just means I have to roll a 2. Let's see. I rolled a 2. Alright, so he gets, whoa. Okay, now the other 2, okay, I need a 2 and a 1. I didn't get either. Okay. Alright, so Gladden is done. Okay, throw Winters goes back in. Okay, shake it up. What do we get? Okay, Stewart. Okay, Stewart's gonna have a 3 or less. He got a 3. Alright, so they're down here and they're gonna do an attack order against Chalmers, but they're going to fire on him first, and they're going to combine their fire because they're adjacent. They can do that. So we've got a strength of 7 and a strength of 8, so that's 15, and he's in dense wood, so we're going to drop down to 10 to 11. He's going to have a CR of 1. That's a 63. Ouch. So he's going to be severe. Nope. 66 again. Depleted. Break test. Retreat. All 3. So first off, we got a depletion. He's already depleted, so we roll on the break test table. Okay, which is right here. All right. So you take their CR and you roll 1 die and you compare that to their CR. So I rolled a 6. His CR, okay, is a 1. So that's 5 over his CR. Okay. So plus 3 is plus 5. So he's going to the broke box 3. Okay. Now, those units that had attack, they were gonna have attack orders here. They're going to pull back. Let's see. So pull back into here. So 1, 2, and then that's going to be 5. 1, 2, and 5. So that's what they do. Basically, they're protecting Indian mounds, but really the Indian mounds is what, 1 victory point? I think. Let's see. So maybe I don't want to go there. It's on this back side. Yeah. 1 victory point. That's not worth the effort. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to move up that way. All right. So next, okay, we got Hardy. Roll a 3, so he can activate. And he's got Bowen and Statham. Statham has 2 units over here on the broke track, ready to be rebuilt. Bring back. So we could attempt that. We got here. Got a Statham unit there. No ammo. See, we don't have that much time left to be wasted on trying to rebuild, but at the same time, I've got to get in there and get that victory point there. So okay. It's a victory point right there too. We got to get that. Peach orchard. $16, $14. No, is it, what is that, 18? Yeah, 18, let's see, 11, 12, 13, 18, 13. Yeah, that's worth 2 victory points. So what's that crossroads 6? Well, both the crossroads 6. The 1911 is only worth 1. So okay. Alright, so we're going to do an attack order. First thing though is Statham here has line of sight. He's rifled. This guy's an orchard. Well, we're going to be at sea though, so we might be able to get something. Orchard, they can have support, so they're going to have a 3. Pretty sure orchard. Let's see. Where's the orchard at? Units in orchard may give and receive support. So there goes that. All right, but he's going to be fired with a strength of a C, because he's quartered. at range 3, which he's going to be at 1, and then he's got to shift 1 to the left for the orchards. So he's at C. 23 is not enough. Okay. All right. And then this unit here, but he's got low ammo, so he's going to be pretty useless. He'll just have to be there for protection. So, all right. So I want to regain control of this here. So we go 1, 2, 3. So he goes to there. Okay, and then this unit here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he goes to there, and of course we don't want to assault because we have this pile here firing on us, and we're in the clear. So, okay. Oh, I've got this unit here that comes in. It says reinforcements can use maneuver order. So does that mean that they can use that maneuver order outside of what their units are doing? So he basically could use road column. That's what they're saying. So you can't engage. So that's half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. Okay. And then let's see. Of course, this is can't go there. 3.5, 4, 5. Okay. So Hardy goes back in. Statham is finished. Okay. We'll draw another. Let's shake it up first. Okay, W. Wallace. W.H. Wallace. Okay, got a 1, so he can activate. He's got Tuttle, MacArthur, and Sweeney. So, Sweeney, we've got to find out who this Sweeney that's coming in belongs to. So, if I look at the scenario rules, okay, and we have Sweeney coming in. I guess he's with the other Sweeneys, and not with MacArthur. Says this unit may use maneuver order, march column. So, what do we want to do with Sweeney's? Let's move up to attack because Gibson is wrecked. Even though that's probably something that should be kept secret. So, first thing is we're going to have attack orders. No one in Sweeney's brigade has anyone within range to fire at. So, let's bring this guy in first. Okay, so he can use a road column. Okay, so half, 1, 1.5, 2. Moving into the hex is going to cost regular 2. He's going to have to cross that stream. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, and then 6. Okay. All right. So the other ones here are going to move to attack, and let's see here. This one here. What do we got here? Oops. Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So let's focus in on what's going to happen over here. Alright, so we want to attack, so our attacks are going to be here against here, here against here, and then the last two here against here. Alright, so we'll go with this guy first. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so he's in woods. Okay, here we've got artillery. They're in woods, so their strength is going to be 3, and then canister, so around, it's going to be 4. Okay, the infantry unit has a strength of 6, so we've got a total of 10 there. Firing into woods, so that's going to drop to 6-7. Okay, 32, might be able to do something. Okay, now, yeah, it's going to be routine. He's going to have he's got a CR of only a 1. Okay, so what's the routine? 4 and 4, so nothing on depletion, but cause him to retreat 1. So okay, so now we go with this one, and the question is, okay, now that I did this and this guy retreated, can these guys now provide support? I don't know. I don't think I've ever I don't think I allowed that, because, you know, this is like all happening at once, but I chose, you know, so it might say that they can only, you know, they're not, you can't attack them, well, I don't know, maybe you can. This is combat, so I gotta go over here to the close combat. Okay, we go to like defensive fire and supporting fire. Okay. Oh, yeah, they can't. In addition, other enemy units adjacent to any currently attacking units who are not themselves the target. Okay, so no, they cannot. So I didn't think they'd be eligible. Okay, so now we have this group here, which is a strength of 10. Okay, he's in the open. Rolled a 22, and he's going to have a 2 because he got support from this unit. See, I chose my attacks carefully by allowing this guy to go last, provide support for this one. So 22, and I said he had 10, 22 across here. Yeah, he does get the routine. So 42, I don't think it's going to do anything. Yep. All right, so now we go to the assault, which is 12 against 10. So it's going to be 1-to-1. Okay. They're going to have the higher CR, the defenders. So he starts off at 12, goes down to 10, 11. Okay. Okay, the defender has smoothbore, so that's going to go down again, so 8 to 9. And that's it. Okay, so 33. And they have a 2 CR. That's going to be routine. And we got a 34. Okay, 34, no depletion, but a retreat all of 2 and possibly panic. So panic of 1. So they have to retreat 2. Okay. Now when they're wrecked, let's see, I think okay, let's see. Okay, a wrecked unit that panics or that is forced to make a break test. Okay, so they just retreat. They're not, but retreat 2. Now this unit here would panic. So what we got over here? This guy here would panic too. But it's only one that panics. So I think it's, when you have that, I think it's whoever has the lowest CR. Let's see. Let's see who gets to choose. Yeah. Unit with the lowest modified CR, those eligible must be selected. So otherwise the firing player can select the eligible unit. So, alright, so they have a 2. This unit here is actually going to have a 1. Okay, which is going to leave this artillery unit there. So they take another morale hit. So they're at disrupted, and they have to retreat 3. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, and then he can actually move into that hex. So, and go two. He can go here and then go here. Alright, so here we've got the 19th Louisiana firing at the 8th Iowa. Now they don't have support, so they're going to have, I could have left this guy here to give them support, but they're going to have a CR of 2. Okay, got a strength of 3. 14. Okay, that's not going to do anything. Alright, so now we have 14 against 3. That's more than 3 to 1. So we start at 14. Their CRs are going to be the same. So I'm actually at 23 plus. And let's see. The defender does have smoothbore, so we'll go to 20 to 22. Roll to 22, and their CR is a 2. Okay, so that's going to be just routine. Oh, 56 routine. That's 56 is depletion. Okay, they do have to do a break test, so they're eliminated. Okay, and then so Sweeney here can move 2, so he'll move into there. Alright. So Sweeney's kind of did a counterattack there and destroyed 2 of Gibson's regiments. So, alright, what's next? Hulbert. Okay. Hulbert has Lehman and Williams. Got a 2, so he's going to be able to activate one of them. Lehman. You could actually get, well, he's got Wood right there and Shaver. He could take care of Shaver. Alright, I'm going to activate Lawman. So Lawman is going to be activated. Let's put Hulbert back in the cup, and let's focus on Lawman. Alright, so he's going to do an attack order. So the first thing is we've got offensive fire from the 17th Kentucky against the 2nd Arkansas. Okay, and okay, that's a Woods Hex. Alright, so he's got a strength of 5. Shifts to the left twice due to the woods, so he's at a strength of 3. 33. No effect there. And he's the only one. Okay. So now we're going to do our movement. Okay, so you can barely see him over there. Okay, let's move that way. He's going to move in here with this artillery, try to defend that objective. And so here we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. This one here is going to move underneath the 17th. Okay. So, okay, so we've got an assault by those two against Shaver, the 2nd Arkansas. He's got to choose who he's going to fire on. I think he's going to fire here up the 31st Indiana. So a strength of 6 shifts 2 to the left to 4. 32 is not, I don't think it's going to do anything. Nope. Alright, so we're going to do the assault with this actually increases his strength to 10. So he's going to have 22 against 6. Okay. So he starts off at 12. 22 to 6 is 3 to 1, so he goes up 3. He goes to 2022. Well, they both have smooth bore. Well, he he doesn't. He does. So that drops it to 1719. Okay, 1719. Ooh, 65. That's going to be severe. I think he's going to the eliminated box because he's wrecked. 53. Yep. Okay, so Schaefer goes to the eliminated box because he's wrecked, which means now that's going to be recaptured. Yeah, I'll put those guys in there. Alright. So I actually could put those guys in and move them and then put him in there. Might do that. So I can move 2. So we could go like that. Alright. Okay. Inspired leadership. We had that with the Confederates, but not with the Union. So that just basically gives them an opportunity to re-roll there's Hardy again. And so this time Hardy has Shaver, and he can't use Shaver, so he's done. Shaver's wrecked. So Hardy shouldn't even had him back in the cup. Alright, so we got Hulbert, okay, who has, the only thing he's got left is Williams. So, there he is. Okay. Okay, see, I rolled a 5, But see, now I can use that inspired leadership, which, okay. So it just says I can re-roll the attempt. All right. 3, so he passes. Okay, so inspired leadership is used. Hulbert is going to be finished because Williams is his only other brigade. Okay, Williams doesn't have anybody to fire on, so he's going to fall back. Okay, so they're going to do a defend order, so he's going to fall back to here. Okay, and he'll be able to remove his shaken marker. Okay, after. Okay, he goes. I don't want to get up there. I think he just wants to stay where he's at. He's going to be able to take away one of his morale markers. Okay. Well, no, I think it's only one unit. Let me go back here. Okay, I think maybe you can only remove one. Oh, no. Each eligible unit may remove one. Okay. And they're all eligible. They're at least 3 hexes away from any enemy. So, okay. Okay, Fortunes of War. So, next one is this is not going to come into effect. Okay, so inspired leadership. The Confederacy doesn't get to use that. Okay, so here's Breckinridge, his replacement. I don't know who that would be. Rolled a 5, so no. So he's got Bowen left. So Bowen would just be able to do a limited action. And he's there, but he's got that -2 for low ammo. So, all right, so that's all of Breckinridge. Okay. Wallace. Okay, so we've got W.H.L. Wallace. Rolled a 5. That means they've got limited activation. Okay, so we'll do MacArthur. MacArthur, all he can do is fire, so he'll fire Statham here. He has a strength of 9. Statham is in the open. Statham, let's see, is this other one? What is he at? Okay, so the 22nd Mississippi there is going to have a CR of 3 because he's not supported. Okay, so we got a 25. I don't think that's going to, even with a 9. Yeah. No effect. So W.H. Wallace goes back in. We've got 2 left. W.H. Wallace again. Let's see, can he activate? Yes. So Tuttle, he's going to activate Tuttle. And Tuttle is kind of split up here. Kind of hard to get them all in there unless I back up a little bit. Okay. Williams should have. Oh, I had these 2 guys over here. I did a defend order. So Williams has got 2 units over here on the available track that I should have rolled for. Should have did a regroup, but I didn't. Okay, so Tuttle. Okay, these 2 guys. This guy. in here. Okay, I could do a defend order, and I could get both of these guys to move away, and then they would be able to do their take away their morale hits. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we're going to do a defend order. First thing we're going to do is we're going to fire with these two guys. The second and the second and 12th Iowa against Harper's guns there. All right, so they've got a strength of, what is it, 10? Okay. Strength of 10. Shift 2 to the left for the woods. So 6, 7. 13's not going to do anything. Okay. So now we go to do our defense order. They're going to stay. These guys got to get at least 3 hexes away from wood here. Pull back here. I can see both of them guys. Okay. So here, the 14th is going to move 1, 2. That's all he needs to do. Okay, and then this one here, got to move away. So if he goes here, that's 1, 2. No, that's 3 moving into dense. He could move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. All right, so both of them can 1, 2, yeah, can get rid of a morale marker. All right. So let's see that. That's all of William Wallace. So what do we got left in the cup here? Oh, Withers. Withers still has 2. He's got Jackson and Chalmers. So, all right, let's see if he can activate. Ooh, I rolled a 6, so one of them will not be able to activate. Guess that's going to be Chalmers. Okay, so Chalmers doesn't activate. He doesn't have anybody to fire at. And the next roll passes. So I can activate Jackson. With Jackson, I'm going to do a regroup order. So I get to remove that marker. This unit here, yeah, I'll just remove his marker. Let's see, gotta put that guy back on top. A couple other places I think I need to do that like that. Okay. All right, so well, yeah. Okay, so now we look to see if anybody's wrecked. Okay, and Jackson's not, Bowen's not, Chalmers isn't, Statham isn't, Williams isn't. Okay, and Gibson, Shaver, and Stevens are already wrecked. So, okay, so this is the situation. Uh, I have to adjust here. So there's another bow in there. These two guys move here, and just remember, if you get to a turn, I said this in the other video. If you get to a start of a turn and you've got a unit here, then you didn't shift. Okay, so so this is the situation we've got. All right. On the western edge, okay, Sweeney and Tuttle have counterattacked, and they're now hitting the Confederates' wrecked brigades. Okay, going to cause some losses there, quite a few losses, which could end up giving them the victory on this first day. So, again, my tactician skills need to improve. Historically, I'm like, I guess, Bragg. I'm just throwing stuff up there, throwing a brigade up there, the whole brigade. Really, the only way that you can coordinate where two brigades are attacking is if you have one brigade or one division commander you draw from the cup, and then the next turn you draw him again, and so then you have two brigades of that division moving close together, okay, where they could attack. One hits and then the other one comes in and hits, but when you send your brigade in, you don't want to send all 5 of your regiments. You got to keep some in reserve, because if you don't, you're going to end up getting wrecked like I did with the Confederates. So yeah, my tactical skills have got to improve. I'm just throwing stuff up there. I get a brigade activated and I just throw the whole thing up there. And defensive fire is so deadly, especially when you put your units out in the open instead of really focusing on, well, okay, if I'm going to hit them, I want to hit them like this, in cover. I don't want to hit them with my infantry having to be out in the open. So they're not going to have support, but they're going to be defended from that defensive fire. So, yeah, the wrecked mechanic that's been added really adds a lot to the game in regards to a commander having to pay attention to the losses that he's taken and the risk of losing a brigade because of mismanagement of that brigade in an attack. Defensively, you don't want to put your, you want to use the terrain. You want to protect your troops, but historically, I think being in the trees is a two-sided coin. Okay, where death is on one side, and your morale probably again, it can fluctuate. It depends on what kind of experience you got. You're probably thinking, if you're new, you're green, that the woods is where you want to be. But when you have cannons firing their round shot into trees, then those trees can come down. So you're not only are you a threat of being hit by the cannonball, you're also there's a threat of shrapnel, wooden shrapnel, which can easily create infections, which leads to gangrene, which then leads to amputation or death. And then you have death from above. You got death from the trees and branches falling on you. And that's even mentioned in the Shiloh book by Winston Groom. One of the participants in the battle talked about that, and your morale is shaken because you're fearful that, those trees are coming down. So, but in this type of landscape, you don't have much of a choice. There's not a lot of open area, and if it is, that's deadly ground. Just the fact that you can be seen so easily. But it's kind of twofold. I don't know that with the the maybe the modifier is a little too high when it talks about you're having to shift twice for dense woods. Sure, the trees can take some of the impact, but if think about ships of sail, okay, or even ironclads or whatever, but if you think about the ships during the age of sail firing at each other, okay, those cannonballs just went right through those ships made of wood, unless they had a double hull or something, or they were made out of oak wood or something. What was it? One of the was it the USS Constitution? Old Ironsides. Made the enemy think they were the ship was made of iron when it was just wood. But that wood could basically repel cannon shot. Cannons would hit that hole and then just fall into the sea. And so that's the nickname, Old Ironsides. So I think you can still see. I think you can go up to the northeast somewhere, and you can actually tour the USS Constitution. I'm not for sure, maybe in Boston or somewhere. I need to do that. I need to take a trip, and because I love history. I've been to Philadelphia. Went up there for a chess tournament, and I got to see a lot of historical places, and of course the Liberty Bell with the crack in it, and all of that. It was a lot of fun, and went with my well, she's ex-girlfriend, but we had a good time. And I'm kind of a history nut. Go to the Alamo. I can sit there and just take my time going through, looking at everything, filming stuff, and just anything, any historical places. Went around to all the different missions there in San Antonio. There's more than just the Alamo. You got multiple missions around. So, anyways, back to this game. Okay. So I don't know if when they were looking at the designing the game, if they looked at the casualties caused by being in woods, especially heavy woods, because out at sea, when those cannonballs, solid shot, would go through the hole, you got splinters, okay, flying everywhere, which could cause death, or like I said, infection, gangrene, amputation, so forth. So, maybe it should have maybe a morale where they want to move and get out of there, you know, where their morale is increased, the morale hit is increased or something. I don't know. Maybe that was looked at and thought it wasn't that major of a deal. Didn't cause that many casualties. But I remember reading. I'll have to go back and look to see if I can find where that's mentioned in the book, about soldiers being concerned about being in the trees. Of course, same thing can happen with from muskets or rifled muskets. Small arms fire. Hitting the trees and sending out shards of splinters. Same thing. The splinters can get you in the face, the eye, so forth. So, war is not. Fortunately, I've never had to be on a battlefield, have someone shooting at me, having my life in danger. And I think we take, we play these games, and we haphazardly throw units here and there, and we're not really thinking about, we're talking about, you get a loss over in April's harvest, it's 100 men, okay, that are killed, wounded, and, so forth. Okay, over here, I think it's like, 50 men? Is it 50 men or 100 men on the scale? Yeah, 50. So, but I don't know. I think it's going to be difficult because the losses are not the only victory points you get from losses are units that are that are eliminated. Let me find the scenario book. Eliminated or on the broke track is only half a point for each 2-step unit. It's not half a point for every strength point, it's just half a point for every unit. So you're not going to get that many points from that. Okay. Although, let's see. I wonder about the leaders. If you get any, and you're talking about you got artillery here too. So I guess artillery is just the same, and then leaders. Would you give them what their leadership rating is? Maybe. But if we look over here, okay, let's put this here. All right, so I dropped my tweezers. Okay, so here is 2 units, 2 units, 2 units. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. That's half a point for each. So that's a half a point. Half a point is 1, and then 2, then 3. Okay, and then over here, okay, again, That's half a point, half a point. That's 4. Half a point, half a point. Now we're at 5. Half a point, half a point. 6. 6.5. So we got 6 points. Now that can add up. Okay, of course the Union have lost half a point, 1. Okay, so it's 6-1. But if we add in, say, the leaders, okay, that's then going to be a 4-point difference here. Okay, which still gives the Union a 2-point advantage on victory points. And the Confederates have to have 6 or more victory points than the Union. And so we also have victory points out there that the Union already control, okay, that the Confederates need to gain control of. So, and with, okay, the 2 o'clock turn finished, okay, we're going to have Tyler come in. But really, Tyler's not going to be effective. We put him down here, but his range is so limited. He's only going to really be able to protect the Indian mounds. Okay, the Confederates, of course, are just going to avoid getting you anywhere close to the Tennessee River. So I can put him on here, but it's, you know, he's not gonna be able to do anything. So, and really, Jackson and Chalmers down here are just squirreling around, you know, because there's no victory points down here. They've got to move up that way, and they've only got 1, 2, 3 turns to do it. So they can't move through those woods and that. So okay, so that's basically, you're looking at woods cost 2, okay, and they've got 1, 2, 3. They've got 3 turns, okay. So they can move 3 of these hexes if they were just in a plain, say, a plain hex. So let's just say we take Jackson here and try to move him, okay, say up to here or even to here, okay. So he goes up that slope is going to be 1, okay. Into this woods hex is 2, so that's 3, 4, 5, okay. That's as far as he got on turn 230, okay. At 3 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, see, he's going to have to fight, you know. So he's not going to get up there. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then say 5, 6. Okay. And then, you know, he's got to wait. So then if he does leave, he gets fired on. Okay. But then once he gets here, he has to attack. Okay, and by then these guys are going to fall back. You know, they can give up. You know, maybe Miller can, of course, do anything. Now I could have him retreat. Okay, that's one thing I can have them do is withdraw. You know, and they have to withdraw. Let's see if they're, yeah. Okay, so up here. Okay, since they're shaken, since they're wrecked, these guys have to withdraw. Okay, so they can withdraw 0, 1, or whatever. But if they don't withdraw, okay, let's just draw him 1, 2, like so. Okay, this guy here, 1, 2. Oops, we just want to keep going to avoid being destroyed. You know, he'd want to go 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, like that. So, see, Miller could do the same thing down here, and he could withdraw back here to this where Welker's at. So, you know, we get him back there. Okay, 1, 2, and he gets there. Okay, so that gives that artillery at least some help. Okay, so. And you say, well, what about some of these other guys? Well, they've still got to maneuver around, okay? or an attack. So in 3 turns, they're already behind in points of victory points because of the losses they've taken from the wrecked brigades. Okay, so I am speculating that we're going to have a Union victory. So we'll find out as we play through. But yeah, the blind swords, I think, is really a superior system in most categories. Okay. Now, if you want a more complicated command system where you're writing orders and all of that, then April's Harvest is a fascinating system. And like I said, I don't know anything. I think I tried to look at the rules of the line of battle, and I don't know. I think I was having a hard time wrapping my head around it. But I need to take another look at it. And I don't know how easy it is to apply it to the Brigade Series. Okay, it might be at the regimental scale, and I think it is. So it's going to be at the same scale as blind swords. And I don't know if they have removed all of the clunkiness to the command system. And I don't know if they've improved the maps. Of course, 1995, that didn't have the technology for maps and stuff as today. So, but you still had some good maps that were made. And really, the only thing that I look at the Dean Essig maps, which he did, and I don't mind the maps. At least some of these. Now, even the GMT has got, or is it GMT? Yeah, and some other companies have put out some, just horrid maps, and this isn't one of those, but the color. I can imagine if you're colorblind, you would have a pretty difficult time with the different shades and so forth. But and you do have the elevation guide that helps, but sometimes it's hard to distinguish the elevation when you've got all of that the woods covering it all. And maybe if the woods were maybe a little lighter or something, where they just weren't so dominant. And I'm not saying the woods don't look nice. It doesn't look like woods. But personally, I just have a hard time sometimes with, determining the elevation and then determining whether or not line of sight, so forth. But just so you know, I do like the Civil War Brigade series. I really like the Napoleonic Brigade Series, and I know I've discussed that. Um, and I played it before I started playing the Civil War, and I knew there would be some differences. And so one of them is, of course, you don't have that opportunity fire from a distance, and I think that's because most of the fighting was not out in the open as Napoleonic battles, and ancient battles. They looked for an open area, you know. Of course, the Napoleonic battles that took place in Spain and Portugal uh, could be affected by the terrain, ravines and hills and crest and all kinds of other things. But I do like the Civil War Brigade series, and I can work through the command system. I kind of like the command system, but just to play the blind sword system is a lot easier to play. Okay, which makes it, I think, more fun. And sometimes more fun might be good, but if it's not historical, then no, it's for me. I don't. It can be fun, but if it's not historical, it's like, well, what? Just make up a battle. Don't try to do a historical battle that's not, can't be historical. But Revolution Games has done an excellent job in their research, and I think I get a lot of historical results playing their games. I feel like, okay, and then I also get a lot of what ifs. Okay, like with the Vicksburg, the what was the name of the crest or the hills or whatever that anyways in that I had a lot of what ifs. Okay, what if the Union had placed their pontoon bridge, okay, had built that in this location instead of where they did, and what if they had maneuvered here and then he attacked here, and then so you get all these what ifs, and so you can play that out. And you know um, when you get that out of a game, then you have a special game, you know at least from a historical perspective. And I have a degree in history. Well, let's see. No, I almost have a degree in history. I need a few more classes. But I was qualified to teach history because once you're a teacher in Texas, once you pass your educational tests and like the well, I don't know exactly what they called it, but I taught secondary, so you had to take this secondary education tests. Okay, besides the basic education test, and once you pass those, then you can go back and take any of the other tests you want, and if you can pass the test, then you're qualified to teach that subject. And so that's what I did with history. And then I even did that with the social studies test. But in Texas, they had decided that they didn't want to give people, professionals, they didn't want to give us lifetime lifetime, where you can basically you can teach that you don't have to retest. Okay, and I was grandfathered in on the English, all of the secondary and regular educational test. I don't have to retake that. I don't have to retake the secondary test. I don't have to retake the English language test. And I don't have to retake the basic history test. I'm grandfathered in because I passed all those tests before they made that change where so you only have that, you're only given that license for so many years. Okay, and then after those years you got to go back and take the test again. Okay, or I think you have to show that you've done, I don't know. I tell you, as a teacher, those workshops that you had to do, they were meaningless. Okay, they did not help you. Okay, they come up with these ideas, and it's woke teaching is what it is, and they try to tell you, you can use this, you can do that. Have you used that in class? Okay, have you actually used it? In a big class, and used it when you're teaching 5 classes that are different, and then coaching? No, you haven't. You teach one subject, 5 times a day or 6 times a day. All right, yeah, okay, you can do that, but I can't do what you're asking because that would I'm going to be swamped. I hated going to those workshops. Because you have all these ideas they want to throw at you, and none of them were useful. So, but I will not go back to teaching. I don't have the temperament anymore. I don't have the patience. I don't have the energy. It takes so much energy. It drains you day after day after day. If you know a teacher, then you need to show your appreciation. If any of your teachers are still alive, and you're able to, shout out to them, you need to tell them, hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate every little thing that you did. Okay, whether or not you like that teacher or not, the work that teachers put in, and all of the stuff that they have to go through with parents and even students and other teachers, and all of the bureaucratic red tape, the stupid state tests that are meaningless, that are now basically controlling what you teach in the classroom and what you don't teach. Another reason I got out, and the special ed, the requirements that you're going to give a student all of these benefits where they're only going to answer half the questions, and on a test you have to make it like a multiple choice with only 2 choices, and they get to get help from the special ed teacher, all of that. Hey, when they get out in the real world, none of that. Okay, they can say, I'm special ed. They don't give a shit. You go to McDonald's, you got a job at McDonald's, and you say, hey, I'm special ed. Oh, well, okay, you're only required to make 50% of the fries of Johnny over here. That don't work. You ain't doing your job, you ain't getting it done, guess what? You're going to be back on the unemployment line. And that's just a simple job. What about a hard job? I had some students, they were lazy. And they were lazy so that they could be classified as special ed. And I knew they were lazy. So I made them work. I made them turn in their stuff, and if they didn't, hey, you got a 0. They didn't have to do as much work because I was required by special ed. But then you have a special ed teacher that out of the blue, they haven't been around at all, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, they want to know how come the kid's failing. Well, where have you been? I've been sending out these reports. Have you come and checked on how he's doing? No. And now all of a sudden you're going to sick some special ed department from the region. on me, threatening to take me to court because the student's lazy and not doing his work. And so what did they do? They required that I give the special ed teacher the test with the answers. You know what they did? This was a semester test. The special ed teacher took the student somewhere so that they could give them the answers to the test so they could pass. And the special ed teacher, she's at fault. She wasn't doing her job. Shout out to old Benjamin High School and the special ed teacher that was there back in 2007 to 2009 when I was there. You wasn't doing your job. I probably need to do a little short video on that. You know, tried to Holiday High School where I went to school. Okay, my youngest, they were trying to put him in special ed. I had to go up there and tell them, no, you ain't doing it. And they still tried. They still were like, no, no, you're not going to give my son put him in crutches, where for the rest of his school life he's gonna get to not have to do all the work that everybody else does. You're not doing that. I want my son to have to achieve just like everybody else. That ain't going to help him when he gets out, you know. And so he benefited from that because, you know, I refused to allow them to put him in special ed. So if you got a kid that they're trying to put in special ed, you know, it's different if they got mental issues or psychological issues or something like that, you know. But most of the time they're just flat out lazy. And it's easy to tell as a teacher, you know which ones are lazy and which ones are actually need. And I've had kids that needed the special ed and they got it and I didn't. You know, I made sure that those kids had what they needed and I took care of those. But the ones that were lazy, no. And those that were lazy, hey, they know who they are. And they know that I did not make it easy for them. And I had basically toe-to-toe fights with special ed teachers. I despise the special ed program because it does not help the child unless they got a mental issue or, like I said, a psychological issue. You know, those kids, okay, they're probably not, when they get out, you know, they're going to be labeled as this with a disability. But you can't get a disability for being lazy. Lazy doesn't qualify for you for a disability. So my youngest son was being lazy, so he had to get to work. Now, he could do the work, but he was lazy and trying to take advantage of the system. And I said, no, ain't happening. So, and he turned out, well, heck, now he's a supervisor for DPS, Department of Public Safety, here in Texas. Now, how can somebody would be put into special ed be able to be a supervisor? Okay, he ain't lazy. Not now. Not like he was. He was lazy back in, I guess it was junior high. Yeah, well, it was before, let's see, probably 6th grade. 6th grade, I guess. He was being lazy. And if I had allowed him to be in special ed, he'd be lazy today. But I said no, and that's what you got to do. You got to say to your kids, you got to say, hey, you're not going to put a crutch. You're not going to give my kid an opportunity to continue to be lazy. So I stood up. It's your kid, you got to stand up. And I tried to stand up for some of these other kids and say, hey, this kid's just lazy. And nope, they wouldn't hear it. Okay, but when you're going to go, you didn't do your job, but you're then going to go to the regional office, okay, and talk to the special ed department there, and then they call me at school and threaten to sue me for I was doing my job. The kid got all of the requirements, but he was lazy, he didn't do the work. And the special ed teacher was not doing her job. Blonde-headed That's blank, blank, blank. But hey, I don't have all that stress anymore. But it's hard work. Being a teacher is not easy work. It wears you down. Okay, and if you fight where there needs to be some fighting done, it wears you down even more. And that's what happened to me. I just had to get out. I got out several times, went back. I think at least twice I got out. And then went back because I needed a job. But shout out to the teachers for everything that you do for your students. That's what you're there. Okay, they're not there to draw a paycheck, because the paycheck is not that big of a deal. Okay, unless you're up in administration or something. Especially if you're a small school like me. I was at small school for 15 years. Small schools. You're not there because of the money. You're there because you enjoy being with the kids and you enjoy making a difference. And making a difference is not easy. It takes its toll. So, okay, anyways, I got off on that, and I can get off on that type of thing all the time. But, so we understand what rect is over here, and I, for one, like it. And hope that it's something that's applied in future volumes. And I guess I can apply it in the other volumes. It will make you, as a player, acting as a general of the brigade, or even the CIC, or general of the brigade, general of a division, to examine, maybe re-examine, your battlefield tactics and how you're using your brigades and using those regiments within the brigade. Because when that brigade becomes wrecked, no amount of prompting or speeches, are going to get that brigade back in action. It's done. It's taken a whooping, and it's done. Okay, it might defend, but it's not going to go on the attack. They've had enough, whether it be from exhaustion, losses, stragglers, whatever. So I like that. It's probably resulted in a Confederate loss. Okay, and that's going to be my fault, because I was the commander. I was the general. I was the one giving the orders to these brigades. So it's allowed Sweeney and Tuttle to counterattack. So, alright, so the next video is going to come back to April's Harvest. It's going to be the 2:30 turn, and this is where I'm going to remove Johnston. He just got in. He should have been at 12 o'clock, and put Beauregard back in. And so come on back, take a look, see what happens in the 2:30 turn. The Shiloh, the first day, it only goes through 3:30. April's Harvest actually goes to 6:30, but I don't think I'm going to go to that 6:30. I think I'll probably end at after the 3:30 turn is where I'll probably end this one as well. And when get done with this, we're actually going to be looking at examining 3 games that deal with Talavera, Napoleonic battle that took place in Spain, 1809. So that'll be interesting. So if that's something you're interested in, by doing these comparisons, I'm able to cover more games and provide insight into how the games are played and so forth. And by doing like smaller scenarios, and I'll be doing a small scenario at least with two of the three games. One of them is at the operational level. So I don't know if they will have a scenario that's gonna. They don't have that type of scenarios. They just have it's a day of battle or approach to battle scenarios. So I could actually, I guess, put the units close to where they are in the other games, and then just play from there. But in that game, it's our turns, while in the other one of them, I think, might be 15 minutes. 20 minutes or something. I'll have to look. But anyways, that's what'll be next. This will be wrapped up probably in three more videos. I don't know if I can squeeze 2 full turns in one video, especially when I do so much yakking. But we'll see. I think it's going to take at least 3 more videos, and then if I do a video of just talking about how I felt about both games, then that would be another video. So, and then of course, then the Talavera is going to be put up here on the table, and we're gonna hit that running. So, and I'm excited about that. And I've got a few games coming from Noble Knight. Get a shout out to Noble Knight. So, Noble Knight games. I don't know if they've moved. No, this is Wisconsin. But there's their contact information. Of course, they're on Noble Knight Games, I think .com. Free shipping over $159. So and of course they've got this 10% off, but you either have to do it by phone, catalog, or in-store purchase. So I do mine all over the internet. They sell a lot of their stuff on eBay, but I like to go directly to the company instead of going through eBay. So, but check them out. See if it shows their website. This is actually expired, but I use it for a bookmark. Yeah, this expired last year. Yeah, last year. So, but I buy a lot of games. I've got 3 games coming. Labatai's Albura. Well, I'll have to just show it when it gets here. It's one of the Peninsular War Napoleonic battles. You don't have Arthur Wellington. I think he's Wellington by then. Maybe he's still Wellesley. Arthur Wellesley. A Duke of Wellesley. And he became the Duke of Wellington. But I guess he was the Duke of Wellesley. Anyways, it's got turns out who's the commander? Blake. I think Blake is the overall commander. I think Heel is it's at the battle with the British forces, commanding the British forces. But okay, so that, and then Labatai Arstadt, which is Davout and his Third Corps against the basically the whole Prussian army. Okay, and the other one, what was the other one? Oh, I think it's a 7 Years' War from Clash of Arms. Luttmann, maybe? I don't know. I'll do a little video of those when I get them. So, but come on back and check it out. Appreciate your support. Feel free to throw any comments, and I just hope you're enjoying the videos, that you're getting something out of them, and also that it creates a desire for you to get some of your games out on your table and play. If any of you are do something similar to this, and you put some videos up onto YouTube, let me know. I'd be more than happy to go watch your videos, especially the playthroughs, or if you're discussing something about the games, I'd be interested in that too, because I like to have a discussion about different aspects of games. That and there's a lot of good gaming posts out there, YouTube channels. Big Board Gaming. I know Kevin. I don't know Kevin personally, and I really don't do a lot of any kind of communication. I put comments up, and there's not really much comment coming back. I'm sure he gets so many comments. He's got quite a few followers, but I think he does a really good job analyzing different aspects of games. It's like a professor is what I kind of see him as a professor of the hobby, because he'll come up with all of these aspects of games that maybe you might not really think of, and he goes off into discussions, and he tells his honest opinion. He's not one to pull any punches. If he doesn't like a game, he's going to flat tell you, I don't like this game. And if he has issues, he'll tell you. And he's not trying to destroy or discredit anyone, but he's just giving his honest opinion. And so I appreciate that. I like watching his videos. He doesn't have playthroughs. He might show different aspects, and maybe go through like a how to do combat, or how to do this or that, and he'll have like updates, but he doesn't do playthroughs. And I guess that's we all have our own areas of what we like to do, especially when we're putting on a channel, and mine is playthroughs. I'm not unboxing. Hey, you got plenty of people doing unboxings. I want to show people how to play the game and how the game's played, and then talk about it, and maybe talk about what I like, what I don't like. But you can only do that when you play the game. But if people can see you play the game, then I don't have to say a lot. You can see the game being played and the mechanics, and maybe I need to show charts and stuff like that more often. But I need to really work on my editing skills. Maybe I need a editing program or app. I'll do all this on my phone. Maybe I need to get a laptop where I have a good editing, and I can do some of this on a laptop and do a better job. But maybe in the future. But at the present time, you're stuck with what you get. And so, but you have comments, good or bad. I'm not going to be hostile on the comments. I think we can discuss, these games pretty civilized. We may disagree on how we feel about a game, and that's fine. We can support each other, support our own claims or opinions and so forth, and have a good discussion. I'd like to have a discussion on maybe on the tactics, on how to use these regiments in a brigade in a way that is going to improve your results. And see, I don't get the face to face, and that's where you get, when you play multiple different people, then you're getting different ideas and seeing different ways that people are going to use their units. And when you play solo, you're seeing just your own, over and over. And so you could be missing some various ideas on how to maybe do an attack, how to use the terrain and so forth. And terrain, the use of terrain is so important on the battlefield. And the Duke of Wellington was a master at using terrain and using techniques that other commanders just refused to use, which was lying down and using the terrain to protect units from cannon fire. A prime example is at the Battle of Lanay. You got Blucher, just refused to move his units to a safer place because he just didn't feel, he thought that was maybe cowardly, or that that's just not the way we fight. We line up here out in the open, and we go toe to toe. And Napoleon didn't do that, and he was able to have victory after victory after victory against Napoleon's marshals. So, and with the help of Blucher, he had a victory over Napoleon. So, but if you don't have the face-to-face, then you're not getting that you're not getting the variety of other ideas. So, and I don't have access to like face-to-face. There's so my face-to-face opportunities are very limited. So, but that's all right. I enjoy doing the solo thing and showing you how these are played, and then you can come up with maybe ideas or opinions about how units should be used, and do a short video or something and post it up and send me where that post is, and I can go look, and then we can have a really good discussion about tactics. Don't get a lot of comments, and I'd like to really get into some discussions on some of these things about these games. And also, hey, what's your opinion of the two games? Have you played the two games? Or it doesn't have to be this game. It could be one of the other volumes. And just we can compare like the different volumes. It doesn't have to be April's Harvest. It could be August Fury. It could be Embrace an Angry Wind. Whatever. It could be any of them. And same thing with the Blind Swords, Turnstown, whatever. And it's easy to start discussing the different mechanics and the way that the games are played and so forth. So, command, structure, all of that stuff. So, anyone out there that wants to have a discussion or has different ideas, or hey, they're welcomed. I like to have those type of discussions. So, we can discuss the Kansas City Chiefs. I was born in Kansas City, so I'm a Chief fan. Been a Chief fan my whole life, and lived through all of those years of having horrible teams. And there's other teams that have gone through longer, periods of that. Like the Detroit Lions have never been to the Super Bowl. Never been there. Closest they got was an AFC Championship game back when Barry Sanders was playing. And let's see, Seattle. Well, they've been to the Super Bowl. They've won a Super Bowl. Chargers have only been once, and they lost. Who else? The Jets. They've only been to one. That was back with Namath, and I don't think they've come close. Well, I guess they did come close, maybe once or twice. So we could talk about that. I'm a big NFL fan. Although I think at times there's been a lot of controversy over, whether or not games are rigged and all of that. We could talk about a lot of different things. I don't watch a lot of baseball. We can discuss who's the greatest NBA player, so forth and so on. But of course that doesn't really apply to these videos. But a discussion is a discussion. But come on back, see what happens. We're going to have the 2:30 turn, and I'll see you in the next video.